Hello everyone, Banyuki here with another video. So today I'm going to be talking about this laptop that I picked up. It is the MSI Creator 15 OLED model. And as you can see here, it has a Core i7, 11800H, so it's 11800H. And inside is a GeForce RTX 3060. So what's going on is that in this area, we're trying to play this game called KOF 15, as you can see on the screen. And we have these local meetups, and I've been bringing my PC down, and it's become kind of cumbersome. Even though it's a mini ITX, I got to bring a screen. I have a 32-inch Samsung that I bring, and it looks great and everything's nice, but it gets kind of cumbersome, as I said. You're bringing a stick, you're bringing a computer, you're bringing all these things together. And I had looked at the Steam Deck. I actually still have a reservation for it, but I'm probably just not going to get it now. And the Steam Deck seems to play the game well, but unfortunately, the Steam Deck, it's a handheld, and you have to get a docking station. And once again, the game runs fine on 800p or 720p. I think it's running on the deck, and it's also using Linux. So we don't even know if that's adding input delay. It seems like it's okay from the videos that I've seen, but we don't want to really take any chances. So I was thinking of what's something that I would want on a laptop. Now, those of you who have been members of this channel for a long time remember that I did own an Alienware R13 a few years back. Went back when there was a GTX 1060, and that had a 13-inch Samsung OLED that was sensational. Well, I'm here to bring you guys this one. This one has a 15.6-inch Samsung OLED again, and once again, it's jaw-droppingly beautiful. So I just wanted to show a little bit of performance with this GPU CPU combo. I don't believe this laptop has a mux switch. I've looked in the BIOS and it says muxless, so I don't think so. There is going to be a little bit of a performance hit running off the OLED itself, but the image quality is so good, and the motion blur is very, very low. I mean, you still get it with 60 hertz, but say if this was a 4K 120 hertz OLED panel and I could actually run the games at 120 hertz, I believe motion blur would be just as good as that LG C1 that's way back there. That looks tiny in comparison now because, it's so far away. But, yeah, having this OLED here is unbelievable. So let me press a button before I get burning. And that's not being tongue-in-cheek. That's actually what I worry about. So just to show you guys the performance that this thing can do. KOF is not a very hard-hitting game, but it does have ray tracing support. I don't really turn it on. I don't think I need to, but it does make a couple of graphics look better. So I'm going to turn it on for this demonstration. Sure, we'll save these settings. Let's turn on the display here. I have it on borderless window because we were playing upstairs on the Sony CRTs, and the game will run in a borderless window, no problem. It doesn't seem to have any issues. So playing upstairs in 1080i and the HD CRTs, it not only looks amazing, it actually compares quite favorably to the OLEDs, but there's no motion blur at all, which is unbelievable. So, my friends come over and they're like, man, these old screens still look good. I'm like, yeah, they do. So let me just turn the volume down a bit. Although I love Iori's theme, we don't really need it for this video. Alright. But that should be a testament of the speakers. The speakers on this thing aren't bad. I don't say they're good quality. I mean, they're just average at best. But they do get kind of loud. There's basically two slits in the front. The two slits in the front here. So there's one here and there's one here. And they kind of basically bounce up. So it's okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing like, oh, I'm buying this for speakers. What you're really buying this for is the OLED panel. And it actually has pretty good build quality. It is an aluminum base. This is all aluminum. The only part that's plastic is actually this on the bezel here. That's it. Everything else is aluminum. So I was quite impressed when I was taking this apart to actually update the RAM, because I went to 32 gigs of CL16, 3200 megahertz. And then I put in a 2 terabyte M.2. It does have a nice upgrade path. You do get two M.2 slots. One's already populated with a PCI Gen 4 Samsung 512 gigabyte M.2 SSD. And it's actually pretty fast. I did some testing on it before I formatted this and went to Windows 11. It's pretty quick. So it is PCI Gen 4. I went with a PCI Gen 3 for my storage drive, which is basically where all the games run off of. So to show you guys how this looks, I'll just put it in training mode, and I'll show you guys. Okay, here, let's take a look. Let's take a look at, I don't know, let's put BGenA out there. She's new. She just came out a couple days ago with the DLC for the game for March. And let's beat up on someone we love punching around. Let's go beat up Terry Bogard. He seems to be very popular these days. You see him everywhere. And there's only about a couple of stages that I've seen that actually have the ray tracing enabled, and this is one of them. So what you'll see is you'll see some reflections on the ground, and they'll actually reflect properly with ray tracing. With ray tracing off, you just see like a shimmer. You don't really see the reflection of the light or anything, but on this one you actually will. And the RTX 3060 in this is a 95 watt version, and as you can see, we're playing in 4K. It's not dropping any frames, and if you look right in there in the middle, that's where that ray tracing occurs. So you see a reflection of a light. We'll move her around. This is really weird playing this through a camera. It's very delayed. And it's just reflecting all around. I don't even know what her... I think it's like... I don't even know how to do her climax. Oh, it's a counter climax. So I have to do... I can't even do it on a pad through the screen. Let me look at the actual OLED screen. And the OLED screen is beautiful. There we go. So with ray tracing on, the game handles it fine. I mean, like I said, this is a 95 watt RTX 3060. It's not the most powerful one, but for the cooling and everything you get, and you get an OLED package, I paid $13.99 for this. It's been dropped in price. It was going for $18.50. That price made me hold back on buying it because I was like, well, $18.50. I mean, the deck is $6.50, but when it would drop to about $13.99, it was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, at that point, you might as well just pick it up. And Newegg right now, till the end of the month, I think 3/31 is the last day, they're running a $200 mail-in rebate. So little features that this thing does have. It does have Thunderbolt 4, so that means you get your full, I think it's like 40 gigabit a second, so if guys want to go and get those eGPUs, it's a pretty good idea if you want to extend the life of this laptop. Personally, I think the RTX 3060 is good enough for now. One of the reasons I did buy this, and aside from the OLED, was HDMI 2.1, and I did verify it does have HDMI 2.1. I took this laptop and put it back on that LG C1, and I was able to get 4K, 120 hertz, 10 bits per channel. So we're getting the full bandwidth of HDMI, 4K, 120 hertz, plus it supported G-Sync. So that's great. So when you're plugging in an external screen, you're getting a direct access right to that RTX 3060, and you're bypassing the Intel iGPU. The Intel iGPU inside, it comes up as like Intel UHD graphics. It could be like a 630 or 730. I'm not too familiar with what Tiger Lake has, but that's what this thing has, is an 11th gen Core i7. So I highly recommend this laptop. It gives me what I want, something portable. OLED looks amazing as always. It's definitely an eye catcher. It's definitely something that when you open it up, people are going to look and be like, wow, the colors on this thing just pop. I mean, the game looks significantly better on this than even my Samsung VA panel, which looks good. People, say, hey, that's a good looking screen. And I'm like, yeah, I got it for the lag more than anything. But yeah, this is my portable KOF machine. Obviously, I'm going to put other games on here. We tried a little bit of RetroArch last night with some scanline, just overlays, not even a shader. And it looked incredible. So definitely the way to go if you're looking for a nice display. There are other laptops that have this same OLED panel. I've been reading about them, but they're also $200 to $300 more, and they're made out of plastic. And I just recently bought a plastic MSI laptop, which was okay. The IPS panel was quite subpar. I'm not a big fan of IPS. The contrast is bad, and the ghosting was awful. And despite it being quote 144 hertz. I just felt it was a very bad panel. So I returned that laptop. I paid the extra $400 for this one. And I feel this one's a much better purchase. So, it suits my purposes a lot better. Other things that we can talk about is that it does have, I believe, 3 USB Type A 3.2 Generation 2 ports. So you get your 10 gigabit a second. So you got your Thunderbolt, you've got another USB-C, and you've got 3 USB-As. Let me go around it real quick to show you. So you got that, you got an Ethernet port on there. They do say you could get power delivery through the USB-C on there. That's cool. And you got Thunderbolt on that side, HDMI 2.1, and I'm using a laptop cooler because this thing does get a little toasty. I've had it in my lap for normal use and it was fine. But just for curiosity, I just wanted to throw up King of Fighters just in my lap to see if I could play in my lap. And I don't advise it anyway, but I just did it just to try it out, and it did get a little warm. So I have this cheap $10 laptop cooler. It gets the job done. So for anyone out there, I'm going to put a link in the description of where to buy it with the mail-in rebate. But I did notice that other sites like B&H Photo, Amazon, Best Buy, they've all marked this guy down. It was originally $1,850. It's going for $1,399. But Newegg does have that $200 mail-in rebate. That could bring it down to $1,200. And that to me is a price that really can't be beat. You're going to get a lot of features that, you're looking at a $400 or $500 upgrade on some of these laptops, but this guy just has them right in. So if anyone has any questions or comments on this laptop, or if anyone has any idea how to get the MUX going, because like I said, when I looked in the BIOS, it said MUXless. I know a friend of mine, he's the one that led me to this laptop. He's already got one coming in today, so he's seen this thing in action, and we just know. I mean, and he's a big Steam Deck guy, and I have nothing against the Steam Deck. I hope it does well, but it wasn't the product that suited my needs. I wanted OLED and HDMI 2.1. I know it sounds silly, but when you have, let's see, that's HDMI 2.1. My cabinet has an HDMI VRR screen. My game room, which is the room, not that door, but you go to the left, that has a 75-inch TCL mini LED. That also supports HDMI VRR. And then we have the projector upstairs, the big JVC NZ8. That's an 8K display. So having this laptop with HDMI 2.1, having it mobile around the house really extends its value towards me. And I'm sure some of you have these things now where you have I have HDMI VRR on my screen. Having this laptop supported is a big boon to its value. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, but if you guys got questions or comments, just hit me up. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. I do not get any compensation. I'm just going to throw a link in there. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. It's just throwing it in there for you guys to spreading the wealth. And get out there and play KOF 15. It's my friends are loving it. I'm still on some things I like, some things I don't like, but hey, it's better than 14, and the netcode is actually decent. So everyone out there, KOF it up.